Can you believe it's been 40 years since this great 80s gem came out? Well, believe it, because it's time to cut loose. Footloose, that is. Here's my re review of the classic itself with Kevin Bacon. It's the original Footloose. Big D's! Entertainment rankings and reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 1984 musical drama flick Footloose, released by Paramount, directed by Herbert Ross, starring Kevin Bacon, along with Laurie Singer, Dianne Wiest, and John Lithgow. It focuses on a teenager from Chicago who moves to a small town where he attempts to overturn the ban on dancing instituted by the efforts of a local minister. The film was released on this day, February 17th, 1984, hence today is the film's 40th anniversary. Though it got mixed reviews from critics, but it was still a box office success. And it had a big selling soundtrack as well, featuring numerous great songs and what have you. So, if you're ready, let's get into our story. Chicago native Ren McCormick and his mother Ethel moved to the small town of Beaumont, that's spelled Bomont, to live with Ren's aunt and uncle. While attending church, Ren meets Reverend Shaw Moore, his wife Vi, and their daughter Ariel. Ariel rebels against Shaw's strict religious nature and behaves recklessly. At school, Ren befriends Willard Hewitt, and Ren soon learns that the town council has banned dancing and rock music within the town boundary. Ren soon falls for Ariel, angering her boyfriend Chuck Cranston, who challenges Ren to a game of chicken involving tractors, and Ren wins this challenge. Distrusting Ren's influence, Reverend Moore forbids Ariel from seeing him. Ren drives Willard, Ariel, and her friend Rusty to a country bar in the neighboring county to go dancing. Willard, unable to dance, becomes jealous and gets into a fight with a man dancing with Rusty. On the drive home, Ariel describes how 5 years earlier her brother, her older brother that is, died in a car accident after a night of alcohol and dancing. Reverend Moore then persuaded the town council to enact strict anti-liquor, anti-drug, and anti-dance laws. Rand decides to challenge the anti-dancing and rock music ordinance so that the high school can hold a senior prom. Willard is embarrassed he cannot dance, so Rand teaches him. Chuck confronts Ariel about her feelings towards Rand, and the two get into a physical altercation before breaking up. Ren helps Ariel clean herself up before going home, cementing their relationship. Later that night, someone throws a brick with the words "Burn in Hell" through a window at Ren's house. When his uncle criticizes Ren's outspoken behavior, Ethel tells Ren that though his actions cost her her job, he should stand up for what he believes is right. With Ariel's help, Ren goes before the town council to advocate revoking the anti-dancing law. He reads several Bible verses and cites scriptural significance of dancing as a way to rejoice, exercise, and celebrate. Although Reverend Moore is moved, the council votes against Ren's proposal, but Vi, who supports the movement, tells Moore that he cannot be everyone's father and that he is hardly being one to Ariel. Now for the ending, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I count down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Despite further discussion with Ren about his own family losses and Ariel telling her father she's not a virgin, Reverend Moore does not change his stance. The next day, Moore sees members of his congregation burning library books that they claim endanger the town's youth. Realizing the situation has become uncontrollable, Moore stops the book burners, chastises them, and sends them home. The following Sunday, Reverend Moore asks his congregation to pray for the high school students putting on the prom being held in a grain mill just yards over the county line beyond Beaumont's jurisdiction. On prom night, Moore and Vi listen from outside the mill. Chuck and his friends arrive and attack Willard. Ren arrives in time to even the odds and knocks out Chuck. Ren, Ariel, Willard, and Rusty rejoin the party and happily dance the night away. End of story. So, what did I think of the original Footloose? I am going to say this is definitely a very good film and what have you. I've seen it a few times and what have you. I actually do have it on DVD along with its 2011 remake, which I still have yet to do a review of that. Maybe sometime later down the road I will, but not yet anyway. Which it's fine and all, but I still prefer the original way more. And why is that? Because it's classic. You know what I'm saying, folks? Yeah. Anyway, really something. Now, actually, now usually I don't talk about this, but I'll tell you this: Dean Pitchford, the Academy Award-winning lyricist for the title theme for the 1980 film Fame, which that's one film I have yet to see, came up with the idea for Loose in '79, teamed up with indie productions who set up production at Fox in '81. And so Pitchford wrote the screenplay and most of the lyrics. However, Fox planned into turnaround. But in 1982, Paramount made a pay or play deal for the film. So when negotiations with Herbert Ross initially stalled, Ron Howard was approached to direct the film, but he turned it down to direct Splash instead, which was released the same year. Michael Cimino was hired by Paramount to direct his first film since Heaven's Gate. But after months working on the film, the studio fired Cimino, who was making extravagant demands for the production. And so they ended up hiring Ross. Now, Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe were both slated to play the lead. The casting directors were impressed with Cruise because of his scene in Risky Business the previous year, but he was unavailable for the part because he was filming All the Right Moves. And Lowe auditioned 3 times and had dancing ability, and the neutral team looked the director wanted, but injury prevented him from taking the part. Christopher Atkins claims that he was cast as the lead character, but lost. So Kevin Bacon was offered the main role for Stephen King film Christine at the same time that he was asked to do a screen test for Footloose, so he chose to take the gamble on the screen test. After watching his earlier film Diner, the director persuaded the producers to go with Bacon. Yeah. Now, actually, Laurie Singer plays Ariel, a role that could have went to maybe Madonna or Haviland Morris. Well, they both auditioned. Valerie Bertinelli and Jennifer Jason Leigh were also considered, and Dianne Wiest appears the Reverend's devoted yet conflicted wife Vi. The Reverend himself was played by, of course, John Lithgow. And Tracy Nelson was considered that for the role for Rusty, but however that went to Sarah Jessica Parker after recently starring on the cult classic sitcom Square Pegs. And actually, the film's inspiration is loosely based on the town of Elmore City, Oklahoma. The town had been dancing since its founding in 1898 in an attempt to decrease the amount of heavy drinking. Yeah, really, that's really something. Anywho, I am going to say that I'm really like the story for though. Dean Pitchford's story was very good and what have you. Now, of course, its soundtrack released through Columbia Records was a big seller and what have you. Miles Goodman composed the film's score. Anyway, I think it was pretty good. Now, the soundtrack was released on numerous things, including the reel to reel. Of course, the open reel release was among the last commercial releases on that format. It was also released on cassette, 8-track tape, vinyl, and CD. Of course, it had numerous hit songs. Among them include the theme song to the film Footloose, done by Kenny Loggins, who also performed I'm Free, Heaven Helps the Man. Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler, who had just recently, I believe, so I'm almost sure. Let me see. Yes, after she recently had a big hit with Total Eclipse of the Heart. There was also see Girl Gets Around by the Red Rocker himself, Sammy Hagar, and Moving Pictures, an Australian rock band, performed the song Never. Carla Boff performed Somebody's Eyes. Another popular song, which was a hit, Dancing in the Sheets by Shalimar. And of course, there was the love theme to the movie, Almost Paradise, performed by Mike Reno from the Canadian band Loverboy, who of course was on Columbia at the Columbia Records Act, and Wheels of Heart, who were still on Epic Records before they went to Capitol Records. Of course, that song was written by Eric Carmen before he even made it big with Hungry Eyes from the movie Dirty Dancing. And of course, another popular hit was Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams, who had done several hits, and also more recently had collabed with Johnny Mathis on the theme to Family Ties, Without Us. Anyway, Let's Hear It for the Boy, along with Footloose, both topped Billboard's Hot 100 Songs chart. They also received Academy Award nominations for Best Music Original Song, but unfortunately they lost out. And Footloose also got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Song for a Motion Picture, but it lost that too, unfortunately. There were other songs from the movie, including Quiet Riot's Mental Health, John Mellencamp's Hurt So Good, and Foreigners Waiting for a Girl Like You. Unfortunately, they were not included on the original soundtrack until it was re released for the film's 15th anniversary in 1999. So anyway, yeah, it's it was pretty good. There was also a musical version released in 1998. I almost forgot to point out. Now, aside from Kevin Bacon, Laurie Singer, John Lithgow, Dianne Wiest, and Sarah Jessica Parker, there's others. Willard is played by Chris Penn. He was good. Let's see. Frances Lee McCain, who later that same year would be in Gremlins, playing Lynn Peltzer, Billy's mother. And there's several other people in this film. They're all pretty good. When the film was released, it did pretty well, making 80 million in the U.S. Not meant, I don't that doesn't say anything for worldwide. It went on to be the seventh highest grossing film of 1984. Now the film currently sits at 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying there's not much dancing, but what's there is great. The rest of the time, the film is a nice hunk of trashy teenage cheese. Anyway, the Chicago Sun-Times called it a seriously confused movie that tries to do three things and does all of them badly. It wants to tell the story of a conflict in a town, it wants to introduce some flashy teenage characters, and part of the time it wants to be a music video. New York Magazine rechristened the film Schlock Dance, saying the film may be a hit, but it's trash. High powered father for the teen market. The only person to come out of the film better off is the smooth cheeked, pug nosed Bacon, who gives a cocky but likable Mr. Cool performance. That's understandable and what have you. But nevertheless, I feel like the original Footloose is just a great classic. A good story, great cast and characters, a great score, and great songs in its soundtrack. Overall, I think Footloose was awesome. But would I recommend this film? I would say hell yeah, go for it. Footloose is definitely worth looking into. Now, mind you, as I've said already, I may review the remake sometime down the road. I know I'm long overdue for it since already I reviewed this film as one of my earlier reviews when I started doing this. But I've decided to re-review this in a longer video for a reason. So anyway, Footloose, you gotta check it out if you haven't. What did you think of Footloose, the original? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of, well, a spoiler-free review of the Academy Award nominated Oppenheimer. Yes, you're finally going to get a review of this film. So anyway, if you like this, consider checking out, well, these other films with a little dancing feel, but also have a little bit of a dramatic feel. And these were also from Paramount. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Saturday Night Fever from 1977. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Flashdance, which came out the previous year before this in 1983. Or if you'd like a little more dancing and music in my view, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of Dirty Dancing from 1987. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.